Hey guys. Tonight was an interesting night. And by interesting, I mean horrible. There was a bitch that was screaming in the restaurant. Like, she lied and said that she'd been waiting for 30 minutes, but it was probably like 15 minutes. I think she was drunk. But she was like seriously yelling, like, "Excuse me, can we get service? We've been waiting for 30 minutes. Can we get service?" Who the fuck does that? I'll tell you who does that. A really selfish, self-centered piece of shit that doesn't deserve to live. Now, I know what you're thinking. Maybe she was just having a bad day. You're right, maybe she was having a bad day. There's still no excuse to act like that. I mean, I've seen people behave badly. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen somebody just like fucking straight up yell in a restaurant. She made everybody else in the restaurant uncomfortable. She was complaining about other people eating their food and made other people mad. This is the kind of shit that you see in a restaurant, like, just randomly. I was like, oh hey, there's a selfish asshole that thinks that the world revolves around them, and they don't understand that it does not. Now, my manager didn't comp their meal, so that's good. Because a lot of the time, when somebody complains, that's what they end up doing because they don't want them to like call corporate, which always pisses me off. But luckily, my manager's black, and dealing with black people, now this is like the most positive stereotype that could possibly exist. The reason why black people know how to handle things better is because they're just very, very straightforward. Like, my manager, whoa. My manager was like sorry, I was just like watching my surroundings. I just saw some police officers, so I'm just trying to be careful since I'm not wearing my seatbelt out of spite. Anyway, see, look at that shit. There's a cop right there. And why the fuck is he waiting? For no fucking reason. He's just there to catch people. Do what? What are you there to catch, you piece of shit? I can't stand that shit. It's just like a fucking scare tactic. It's like, ugh. I hate authority. 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 Just don't put that line on yet, because it would look very suspicious. You'd be like, what the fuck is that bitch doing? Okay, good. There's somebody behind me. Hopefully they're not also a police officer. I'll cross my fingers. See? Fingers crossed. No, but seriously, that cop, they try to get people that leave the Steak and Shake parking lot all the time. And the reason they do that is because they know that a lot of the people that either work at Steak and Shake or eat at Steak and Shake are usually on drugs. And, you know, because they want their government check, they're going to try to meet that quota. It's not that I don't understand, like, they have a job to do, you know? And it's not really fair for me to be mad that they're doing their job. You know, just like, why would I be mad that a comedian, you know, tells jokes? That's kind of stupid. But anyway, it's just you have to ask the question, why do these quotas exist? Why does the government have that much power? So their paycheck is contingent on, like, how many people they pull over. Like, they have to measure up to that stat. They have to measure up to that number. Okay, I think it's a truck behind me. That's good. So, that must suck, though, to, like, work for them. That must suck to, like, be a cop and you signed up to serve and protect and, like, you know, try to be a good person. And I'm sure that's why, like, most of them sign up for that. But then you have your bad apples, crapples I call them, that sign up because, you know, they want to abuse their power. Or they sign up because, get the fuck away from me. Get the fuck away from me. I hate it when people are behind me. It just makes me fucking mad. Go away. Go away. If I just drive as slow as possible, they'll leave. There they go. Bye. Bye, you fucking piece of shit. You are so mean. I am. You see that? They'll see me? Kind of, sort of, not really. Now, a little better. Slightly. There we go. Hello. I promise I'm a lot nicer when I've had enough sleep. I'd probably be nicer if I just, like, went back to smoking weed again. But I'm about to make cookies tonight, so I'll get high just, like, smelling the weed, like, cooking in the oven. So that's cool. But, like, I miss it a lot, though. I really do. I really miss smoking weed, and I miss eating weed. And I don't know if I miss it because of the routine or the habit, or I miss it because, like, I just miss actually being high. I just miss being, like, just, you know, like, whatever, man. I miss that. Fucking A, another fucking police officer. Fuck that piece of shit. I just, like, I can't help but be very, like, hostile towards those that have power and authority. Like, that's just my natural response to that. Like, it's my natural response to anybody that has that kind of authority. You know, whether they have that authority because of a badge and a gun and a taser, or they have that authority because of a plaque on their wall and a certificate and a degree. It just, like, I'd have that sort of antagonism towards a teacher or professor, or a doctor. I just hate it when people think, like, oh, well, I'm smarter than you. And it's not that, like, I'm not able to learn. I learn from everybody. That's the thing. I think that I can learn from, like, the dumbest motherfucker. Mainly because I can learn what not to do. So people that it's, like, their job to, like, reign over you, or, like, their job to make you think that, you know, like, oh, I'm more important than you, I know more than you, all because I studied this in college. That really doesn't mean anything. Especially if they don't know how to apply it. But anyway, I try to apply what I've figured out in the restaurant industry. You know, I'm never ever rude to people. Like, even when I'm really annoyed, I try not to be rude. And I also never go through drive-thrus unless I'm with a friend and they beg me to go through Taco Bell or some shit. Like, I don't eat fast food. At least I try not to. I mean, I think like the last fast food I ate was like Chick-fil-A, all because it was Chick-fil-A and fuck the social justice warriors. Their chicken's really not even that good. Like, they make it seem like it's just so amazing. It's not really that good. And it's like really overpriced for not being that good. Like, you might as well just go to like Mrs. Winters. And then you can like deal with black people rather than a bunch of white annoying Christians. But I guarantee you all those black people that work at Mrs. Winters are also Christians, but they're not fucking arrogant about it. See, the thing is, with Chick-fil-A, and with a lot of places actually, Chick-fil-A's like this, and so is, God, what's this place? Publix, grocery store. Like, I think they get paid extra to do this, but yeah, they have to be nice. Like, they have to be overzealously nice. Like with Chick-fil-A, they always have to say, "my pleasure." God, it's so disgusting. It's my pleasure to serve you. It's my pleasure to put a box of chicken on a tray. My pleasure to give you your frozen lemonade. My pleasure. I mean, the thing is, I've met some nice people there, but it's just like, I can't stand fake, flaky bullshit. And that's just the epitome of that to me, where like you have to say this greeting or whatever. And they used to get on to me about that. They've gotten on to me about that like in multiple places where I've worked. And I'm just like, look, you're either going to have to accept the fact that I'm not like a robot, or you're just gonna have to hire somebody else to do this position. And I highly doubt that you can find anybody else to do it with flying colors the way that I can, because I'm really, really good at multitasking, and a lot of people aren't as good as I am at that. And it's like a lot of people have more time and experience in the restaurant industry, but they still can't multitask. It's like their brain is just not conditioned to work like that. But like, my brain's always been like that. So like, if Mexicans like the way that I work, then I know I'm doing something right. But yeah, tonight was just crazy busy. Just wouldn't fucking stop. And like, it was funny, my manager Keon, he was like, "Baby, you gonna have to eat that salad where you work." And I was like, "Honey, that's what I already do. Like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to?" Because like, he was trying to go back to the back to eat his salad, and then he just kept having to come back. And I was like, well, it's better to just like eat while you work, because then you feel like you're accomplishing something, and you know you're not going to pass out because you're eating. So that's good. Because like, everybody tonight was at a point where they're like, God, I have to eat something, but we're so fucking busy that I don't have time to eat, so I just have to just munch as I go. I was like, I'm used to working like that. I don't like sitting down and taking a break. It just pisses me off. I mean, it's fine if other people do that, but like with me, I just fucking hate it, because it slows me down. And then when I don't want to come back to work, I hate taking breaks now. Like, ever since I started working at Steak and Shake, I just can't take breaks. But we used to have this other manager at Steak and Shake that would like force us to take breaks, and I would just like go like get like extremely baked and come back. And he hated marijuana. He hated the smell of it. He hated everything about it. And I would just come back reeking of bud. You get so fucking mad. I'm like, what are you gonna do? Fire me, motherfucker? I highly doubt it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I do weed again, it'll strictly be like a recreational thing. Like, it won't be like this medicinal thing. Because I feel like that's what the problem is for so many people, is that like, weed isn't supposed to be medicine. A lot of people think that it is, but I mean, it's medicine for people who have glaucoma. But I think that their situation is a little different from yours. Much offense. Because if you're feeling sorry for yourself, all because you're a human being that has human experiences every day, like, I don't feel sorry for you. And I don't understand this constant need to escape, and this constant need to distract yourself from just living. You know, like, especially if you live in a first world country, not just America, but like any first world country, but especially America. Like I said, unless you're in the foster care system. If you're in the foster care system, then I can understand why you're, you know, really bitter about the world and you think that this country sucks. I can understand your position completely, and I feel for you, and I pray for you, and that's all I can do, really, because things have gotten so bad that, like, people really can't do much about it, you know, and anytime that people try to do something about it, you know, they get murdered, or they get murdered. So that's why I guess talking about this stuff makes me nervous, but I'm like, dude, like, all these people have talked about this stuff, and it doesn't mean shit, especially these people that don't have any, like, actual authority. It's people that have actual authority that end up getting killed. It's because, like, they're in a position of power, you know. I clearly am not. So I'm just in a position of, like, crazy counterculture. Nobody's going to listen to me anyway because they're going to assume that I'm full of shit. Aside from those people that, like, you know, watch InfoWars and think that Alex Jones is some sort of hero. Like, I have mixed feelings about him. I agree with a lot of what he says, and I do agree with his reaction. Like, I understand it. I understand being so angry and acting that erratic because, you know, if you have all this information in your head and everybody around you just denies it because it's just more convenient to forget stuff that sounds terrible because it is, and it's actually happening. And it's coming from all directions, and you can see that from multiple angles. Like, you can see how corrupt everything is, and you try to talk about it and then people just call you crazy. Like, I get that position, I really do. Just like, you know, Candace Owens, she's real angry, but if I were in her position, I would be a lot angrier because, you know, I meet black people all the time that, you know, they don't need anybody's help. And, like, I was talking to a friend of mine today that I hadn't seen in a while. Shout out to my friend Shaq. She's, like, one of the coolest people I've ever met. She's, like, so chill. She's so down to earth. She's, like, slightly older than me. But she makes more money at Steak and Shake than anybody I've ever met. Just because of how fucking cool she is. I think she's mixed, but, like, she's more black than white, you could tell. But we were talking about Trump today, and she was like, you know, people think I'm supposed to hate him all because I'm black. And she's like, I agree with a lot of stuff he's done. She's like, I disagree with some of it too, but she's like, just looking at the economy, it's really hard to hate Donald Trump. And I was like, you're absolutely right. Jesus Christ. 2 more fucking police officers for no goddamn reason. You're going like 50. I think you're all right. Like, I don't know what you're fucking scared of. It sounds like you're carrying. I know, but it just makes me mad. Anyway. What was I saying? Because I don't fucking remember now because I'm distracted. Shaq. Yeah, Shaq and I, we were talking about Trump. And we were talking about how, like, yeah, the media is just completely vilifying him. And yeah, like, he says stuff that, like, is easily interpreted as race. Easily, I would say, either easily interpreted or easily misinterpreted as racist. But coming from a politically correct perspective, if, like, you're used to being talked to by people that are politically correct, then yeah, everything that he says is racist. But if you're used to being talked to in a way that you know, I've noticed that he doesn't treat people different. Like, all the different people that he talks to, like, he talks to them all the same. And I think that that's like, that should tell you right there that he's a genuine person. Like, a lot of the time, you know, especially with Democrats and progressives, it's like they change their voice, they change how they talk to somebody. And now, I know what you're thinking. Well, you change your voice all the time. Well, I don't do it like, oh, I'm around a black person, so I'm gonna start talking like this. You know, I mean, that's so fucking offensive. And like, I don't even get offended by shit, but it's just like, listen to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez talk, listen to Hillary Clinton talk. It's very clear that they're trying to like appeal to certain people, and so they start talking in a certain way to make them seem like, oh yeah, I'm cool with you, I'm cool, you know. And it's really fucking, it's, what's the word? What's the word that I'm looking for? Because like, I really can't think of the word. I'm trying to think. What's the word that I'm thinking of? Not invalidating, but it's like it's condescending. It's condescending to talk to people like that, because it's very clear that you have, like, you know, ill intentions when you change how you talk to somebody. It's just a characteristic of, like, you know, it's very fake. It's very yeah, it's really obvious. Like, you make it pretty clear that you want something from that person, you know, such as like a vote, or, you know, you want that person's approval. You want that person to like think you're not racist. It's, you talk in a way that actually makes you sound more racist. But, you know, Donald doesn't change how he talks based on who he's talking to. I've noticed that. And he also just treats journalists like shit, because they're fucking pieces of shit that lie to the public all the time, and they get paid to do that shit. I love it when he was talking shit to Jim Acosta, and there was like this other stupid ass reporter that was like, you know, that's essentially what he said. He was basically sticking up for Jim Acosta, and Donald was like, yeah, well, I don't really think about you either. Oh my God. You gotta love him, because he's so blunt. I think that's what it is. Like, he's very blunt. He's very, like, brash. He's New York Jesus. But yeah, like, people get so mad at stuff that he says, and it's just silly. Like, the media is going out of their way to, you know, turn him into this villain. And I think that a lot of stuff that he says, like, especially from the politically correct perspective, would be, you know, falsely interpreted as very bigoted or very biased or very, you know, mean-spirited, you know. But, like, you know, I hadn't seen Shaq in years, and I knew, like, if we ever started talking about Trump, I knew that she'd be a Trump supporter. Because she's smart. And, like, we were talking about conservatism, and she's like, you know, well, I'm more conservative, you know, because, you know, I work. Right on, man. It's like liberals think that everything should just be handed to them. And so, you know, they think that about other people that don't work. They think like, oh, there's a reason. You know, and I'm sure in certain cases, like, you got to look at these things case by case, you know. You can't just generalize. And I think that's another problem in this country, is that everybody fucking generalizes. And that's why stereotypes exist, is because everybody, you know, makes assumptions about this entire group of people does this. This entire group of people thinks this way, and that's not necessarily the case. Like, you're not, that's the problem with Marxist collectivist thinking. So if you want to complain about stereotypes, why don't you blame Karl Marx for that shit? Because you know, he really wanted everybody to think of people as like massive groups rather than, you know, looking at people as individuals with, you know, ideas of their own. And it's like, he really believed that doing that was like more noble, you know, that you could help people that way. But it actually just hurts people more. There's nothing idealistic about this philosophy, you guys. Nothing idealistic at all. Like all this kumbaya crappity crap. First of all, it's just not even realistic. Like, people, you can't force people to get along. Like, forcing people to get along, that's an oxymoron right there, is it not? But just this idea of like, I think that this is good for everybody, therefore we should do this. Like, how arrogant are you, man? It's like, I think a lot of things would be good for people. That doesn't make it right for me to force other people to do what I want them to do, you know? Like what I was trying to explain with like some of my ideas for comedy. Like, if I really believe in comedy, which I do, I wouldn't do the things that I really want to do, because they wouldn't be like truly respecting the art form that is stand-up comedy. You know, people being able to say and do whatever they want. You know, if I were to tell people, oh, well, you have to be funny, you have to be entertaining. What if somebody's whole gig is not being funny or entertaining? I think that's everybody's gig right now. Hold on one second. No mail, you guys. I've been waiting on my check from the IRS for the past 6 weeks. I don't know where the fuck my refund is, but I fucking need it. They said that it's still processing. Of course, I always jump to the worst case scenario, like I'm just not going to get anything back at all. I doubt that that's the case, because I'm pretty sure that I did my taxes right. I did them wrong the first time because I filled out the wrong form, but I sent them another form and I'm pretty sure that I got it right. At least I hope so. I'll pray. Fingers crossed again. I really want that refund though, because it's like over $1,000 and I really want to buy a gun. So hold on, y'all. There's something that I really, really want to do. I'll show y'all. So I told you that I wanted to do these seatbelt covers. Do you think this is a bad idea? Like, say I took my seatbelt and I covered it like this. Do you think that's a bad idea? I think it's a good idea, and if you think it's a bad idea, I think you're fucking stupid. But no, I don't know. I got these. This one's Super Mario. This one's Batman. He's my favorite superhero because I like the metaphors a lot. I like the villains. I think that Batman has the best villains, but I think the Joker is like really representative of our culture. Like, sometimes I think that, like, our culture is like, emulating Batman comics. But I also have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have a dinosaur one as well that's inside the house. But I didn't know how many I was going to use, so I bought 4. They were only $1.27 at the Walmart because I know they were made at a sweatshop. Hey, at least I'm aware. I'm aware of, like, what's going on, and I'm grateful to not live in China. And I know it's bad that I give my money to Walmart, because it's not like I couldn't give my money to some other, you know, evil, greedy corporation just because they're nowhere near as greedy as the Waltons. They're still a greedy corporation that gives their money to fucking sweatshops, like, you know? So, well, they get, you know what I mean. They utilize sweatshops. They're grateful for communist China. They're grateful for Bangladesh. They're grateful for what's another one they use? Some of them are made in India. Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think. There's another, like, prominent country that they always get stuff from. But with Walmart, it's mainly China. With most places, it's mainly China. But, anyway. Sorry, I got a little sad thinking about that. I'm grateful to live in America. But, you know, capitalism, I don't really think it's capitalism. It's like corporatism. And corporatism's bad. It's really the globalization of these corporations. If they didn't allow that, we wouldn't have this problem, but tell that to the progressives. I'll see you later. Goodbye.